Wasn't it 9?
Eight. I'm going to call the city council work study session to order Monday, May 20th, 2024, 6 p.m. City clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilman Phillips. Councilman Portis. Councilman Price.
Present.
Councilman Twitchell. Councilman Gilmer.
Present.
Councilman Guy.
Present.
Councilman Sowers.
Here.
Councilman Bell.
Present.
Would you mind standing and following Councilman Bell for the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, council, we do have the 24-25 budget on the agenda. If the council doesn't have any objection, I'd like to give a brief update of City Hall and what's been kind of going on a little bit on some of our projects and so forth. If there's no objections, we'll just go ahead and I'll add that to that and before we jump into the budget. So currently we got new personnel in the water office, Kim Myers, and then we have another candidate, that former employee that's willing to give consideration and for the water office manager's position, but we'll know by later on this week if they accept that or not. We did get the trees cut down at the cemetery today. So if you go through the cemetery, take a look, they cut the trees down and removed the stumps as well. And some of the old big stumps that are along the main entrance coming in, they removed that. So there's limbs and wood, that they removed a lot stacked neatly alongside the roadway. So city employees will be removing those branches and stuff this week. Outside of that, the audit findings with some of the stuff that we found in the water office was questionable, and we're working on rectifying that. And I do want to commend Alyssa and April for stepping up and Nick Lubrick for stepping up and filling that position. So we haven't missed a beat in the water office. In fact, I think we gained a lot of ground in the water office recently pertaining to our policies and procedures. So we're on track with that. Trying to think if there's anything else. Are there any questions on anything that's going on that you're aware of or may not be aware of?
The word's really floating around that we got all kinds of problems. We lost our water department. I probably did not justify my quick answer back to them on that.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So anyway, it's we're on track, not losing any ground. In fact, we're picking up ground as far as what I can see. The air conditioning unit for the building is out of service. We do have a vendor that is making the repairs. They had to order some parts. It's probably gonna be 3 weeks or so before the parts get in here. Since then, I've made some purchases of some portable air conditioning units. And I do need to make a couple more purchases to make sure everyone's, it's tolerable for the public and for the employees in the office. I'll forego one. I think it's too cold with those air conditioning units, so. Yeah, especially if there's a fan. It's, yeah, it's
In the
terrible.
old days, you said to whip it out.
So, but anyway, heck, it may be cheaper just buy air conditioning units for each of the rooms than it is to repair the,
You know,
repair the big thing.
I really think we ought to get the air conditioners off the first floor up here because heat is up and comes down.
Yeah.
And so they'd be the last one that would really need it. And
Yeah,
Better bring that white flag tomorrow. Not white.
there, boy, there goes two handkerchiefs tomorrow.
so. Anyway, that's, any other questions that I'm probably forgetting something, but I want to kind of apprise everyone on that. And if you get a chance, do go look at the cemetery and stuff, especially with Memorial Weekend coming up. I think it's gonna look really, really nice. There's probably still trees somewhere that needs to be trimmed, but we targeted the primary trees. All right, next item is the budget.
I have a quick question. Does anybody know of any plans in citywide for Memorial Day? Parade or whatever?
As far,
That's just what popped in mind, but any kind of program.
I'm not aware of any personally. Anyone else? No. No, Monday, Memorial Day, I know the American Legion is laying the wreaths. And any of the city council members and myself can go and represent the city to lay the wreath, you know, for the ceremony. So that's at 10 o'clock Monday morning,
What, 9?
10 o'clock, I
10.
believe, yes. So if anyone wants to go, be more than happy. We can sit as a group,
Did you say?
the American Legion out there off Kelly Lane. So the next item, the main item we have tonight is the budget. So first thing I want to ask the council, if anyone has any questions on any department, any line item, or any section of the budget. We went over the police and grounds last week. So I just want to open it up. I do have two things I really want to kind of talk about with the budget and really needs to be considered by the council. And that's with the license office and also with the library. There's two things I want to talk about on that. Does the council members have any other questions or any concerns that you all have identified in the budget?
I will say this is one of the better budgets that we've had in the last several years. Somebody did a good job.
All right. Well, we'll start off the license office. I tell you what, is that printer working over there, April? Copy machine? Can we make some copies of this? I'm sorry, I should have came better prepared, but I just realized I didn't have enough for everyone. So the license office, it does, you know, over the years, it has made us money. This past year, we've taken a pretty big hit in the license office and one of the attributes to that is the Ellsbury license office has opened back up in Ellsbury. So we've kind of lost some customer base south of us. So with that being said, I'll pass out the specific budget for the license office, and this is current as of April. The big thing on the top is the revenue side, what we budgeted for and what we actually have been able to obtain. So by the end of April, you know, we're right at $39,495, whereas we budgeted $67,500. So we're going to have a pretty big shortfall this year. And if you go through, and we did adjust salaries and such, but if you look at the bottom, you know, we brought in $39,559. Yet our expenditures are $49,718. So it's $10,000 in the hole. So it is a public service for the community. I think it's a benefit, but we've gotten rid of other programs that cost us less. But so the consideration, I want the council, the question would be to renew our contract with the license office. It's due in June 1st.
I like we should keep it regardless. It is a service to the community. It brings people in and it brings them in the city hall, and maybe they could, if they had other problems, they could get those solved while they're here. The license office never was a big money maker. It was always, a few $1,000s. Of course, this isn't showing that, so that we do have a problem.
We'll be taking, all the same budget, but we'll be taking $10,000 out of general revenue basically.
Yes. If you want to go back to your license office sheet, it's 2960.010-29. You can actually look at the years past. So, if you look at 18-19, it finished at bringing in 32,000. Then the next year 48,000. Then 21, 68,000, 22, 60,000. Then 23, last fiscal year was 67,000. And then we had the drop. And like I said, the big attribute to that, I believe, and what I've been told, is the other license offices opening up. So we've kind of lost our demographics, from the south. So the contract is due in June 1st. And right now we only have one individual that's trained for that position. We'd have to train some other people to fill in. And one of the prospects that I have coming for the water office manager will be able to fill in if they decide to take the position or not. And just to say that we have to apply and bid for the contract like we did, every year that we do it. And they always go out for bids and so forth. So if we try to just cover the cost of the employees and the utilities, but based on the revenues, we have to bid it tight, like that. So anyway, I wanted to point that out for the consideration of the council, whatever the council, no decisions tonight, but in that regard, but definitely on the 28th. If you got any solutions or any modifications to the budget reflecting that, that'd be something to look at. The next one is the library. What number is it? So the big thing on the library, here's my big thing with the library. We have a nice library. It's historically, it's a nice facility, better than a lot of libraries, in Northeast Missouri. And some communities don't have anything half as nice as what we have. Right now, we have 2 part-time employees that's been there quite a few years. And the library is only open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, period. 2 employees working 8 hours a day, that's 16 hours a day. So that's 48 hours a week. It has been brought up to seek volunteers. And, there's an example of another librarian that's paid, willing to volunteer 1 day a week. There's also suggestions of, school program of letting, someone, work at the library as an assistant through job shadowing or some type of program. But right now, the board's probably in favor of doing these things, but the staff don't. They don't want to do these things. It's just 2 people, 3 days a week. Don't want any outsiders in. It's territorial. It's not very community oriented. It's kind of a cliquey oriented type of a situation. And one of the reasons I ran for mayor was to be an agent of change agent. It's not popular, but just even asking to be open on Monday and having a volunteer do it that is a recognized librarian that's active to volunteer the time and receiving pushback on that, it just behooves me.
With Monday being no school.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So, but here's the thing about this, and I'm not afraid to push the issue. The library board has full control over that library.
Yeah.
We have full control over this budget. So what I'm going to suggest is figure out what 40 hours a week is for a full-time person. That's 2,080 hours a year. Figure it out by an hourly rate and say that's what we're going to pay for salaries, because the city covers the salaries. The library tax and funds that they receive covers the maintenance and upkeep of the facility. We take care of the salaried positions. And since they're part-time positions, they're not even, from my basic understanding, they're not willing to flex their hours to have it open. They feel that may be a safety concern, just having one person in the office or in the library versus having both of them there. And then feel that it's concerned having them volunteer there on a Monday.
No, I think that's a great idea, because we want everyone to have access to our public library. However, this is the digital age now, everything's going digital. And eventually, libraries may become obsolete in 10 or 12 more years, kind of. And we need to make it accessible to everyone.
So they're getting ready to close 3 of them at the same time.
Yes, I know. We're closing everywhere around the United
How much
States.
money is left to the library in restricted funds?
They have approximately about $103,000 in their restricted account.
They've had pretty much control over that, haven't they?
To give you an example of that, even the front door of the library is screwed shut because they haven't been able to either find someone or unwilling to find someone. I believe they want to keep the door shut and secured and have only one point of access into the building when they have plenty of funds to.
So they go
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
step.
Isn't that a
Yeah.
fire hazard?
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. I definitely would believe so. So, there are 2 or 3 new board positions coming open this month. And I've got to make appointments to that. And I have to find people that's willing to to stand up for the community and what the community needs are.
What's the opinion of the board now?
I think the board's somewhat split on this and they get along very well with each other, but I believe that they rather have unanimous decisions. And there wouldn't be a unanimous decision on this. So I mean, I feel there are some good board members on there that really hasn't, they're all good. They're all volunteering their time. They're all doing what they believe is the best. But, this ain't a jewel box that can only be shared by a handful of people. It needs to be a jewel box that's open and available to the public for access.
Okay, we don't have any ordinance or anything that says that they can pick their own board.
No. It's picked from, the mayor always appoints. Now, they've always gave recommendations in the past, but I busted that, about a year and a half ago. And so not that I don't take in input from them. I do want to take input from them, but I just don't want it to be
Well, let's just, do what you advised earlier. Let's take the 2,080 hours and divide it into the 8,000 and see if that comes up to, and we can go from there. You can order it.
so if you're looking at the line item 60.020.
Yeah.
The current budget is, the current year is 23-24 is 31,824. We was proposing 36,816. I would recommend, let me do the math on this. So, because right now they're averaging 48 hours a week. So
Hours times 52 weeks, it's $33,280.
okay, so what is the 48 then? Does that mean our budget would be short as it is?
Yeah, but doesn't that include overtime?
No, they don't, they're part-time positions. So
Are they still open on Tuesday night, or didn't they used to have one night a week that they stayed open?
No.
Open any nights.
Yeah, there's no evening hours there anymore.
Yeah.
So here, let me,
2,000.
Yeah. With the kids out. That'd be a good place.
so they are getting, right now, they're getting, if they don't miss any time, it's 2,304 hours a year. And are they getting 16, right?
No, it comes up, 16 comes out to like 32.5.
Yeah.
If you take 31, 824, well, let's see, what is this? It's 1542 is what the hourly wage would be. 1542 times 2,080. Okay, that ought to be right close to it. I'm doing it in my head. 1540 times 2,080, that'll work. The 31, 824.
So what I'm suggesting then is basically, I mean, don't get me wrong, the point of doing this is to kind of send a message. I mean, that's the only point of doing this, because they dictate their hours, they dictate their staff, they dictate everything. The only thing we can dictate is this budget.
But they're supposed to be for the benefit of students, individuals in the library, not themselves.
So all the funds and taxes goes towards maintaining the library, keeping it upkeep and so forth. The city always took on the responsibility of paying the salaries outside of the 1/4 sales tax or the 1/4 property tax that the percentage that they get from property taxes. So, I mean, I would almost, modify the budget to just $30,000 for part-time salaries.
Yeah.
However they want to divide it and split it up, it's $30,000. I would suggest that. And maybe, if anyone's hearing this tonight from the library board or citizens that knows anyone, we need to have a discussion with them and here, because we don't want them to run their library. But
No,
what we want to do is make it accessible to the public, and especially our students. And students are off on Mondays. It makes sense
I
that
think
we
it
are
should be
open on
Monday.
Mondays. Yeah. And if we got volunteers that are willing to do it and everything else, I don't see what the issue is, but evidently maybe they can explain it better than I can. Cause I kind of gave you a high view of what I believe, and my thoughts may be prejudiced on the matter. But if we can I can reach out to the board president and let them know that we're thinking about reducing the salary budget down to 30,000. And, that we have concerns about the library hours and our hours of operation and the lack of having volunteers or having it open for students, whether it's a Saturday or whether it's a Monday, it's not open.
It's not
And-
so much the lack of volunteers, it's acceptance of volunteers.
Yeah, let me rephrase. It's not lack of volunteers, it's the acceptance of letting volunteers participate within the library to help the library move along. And we're paying 48 hours a week right now, and those 48 hours a week is condensed down to 3 days a week instead of splitting it up. So that's,
We need to make it more accessible, not less
Because it's
accessible.
supposed to be open every day.
yeah, it could be, it could be. It could be, and I understand the gals, I'm not trying to take anything away from their job and what their duties are. They're retirees and they do what they do, because they love what they do. And they're probably more than likely, set in their ways and their schedules and everything else. And so we just got to have a little bit more flexibility. And without flexibility, things break. And, it's not just a museum building for people to look at from the outside. It needs to be utilized.
There again, if it's only got one in and one out.
Yep.
That's a problem right there,
Definitely.
because they did that with the Elks, same way.
Yeah.
You gotta have an accessible outlet.
Right.
you have to have two, any building has to have two regresses.
Yep.
Egresses. If at all possible, I'd like to see the council meet with the library board in executive session.
Okay.
And that we come in with, trying to work together. And because I won't tell you, this could be one of the most touching. This is a very touchable item.
Right.
And this could just word of mouth of us trying to do away with the library and then
That's gonna happen.
yeah, and this, we're gonna have to work this very carefully,
Right.
very carefully. This would probably be the most touchy item we have in the city, believe it or not.
Right. So we can schedule a personal, or excuse me, an executive session dealing with personnel, since we are talking about city employees.
That'd be best.
Because it's kind of, if we're paying the check, we should have a little bit of say
Yeah.
in the city employees. So we'll schedule that. Okay.
I would like to make a motion. We've all had this budget for some time, and I've looked it over really well. And I think we've got a good budget. And I'd like to make a motion to accept it.
So we can't take action tonight, but you make that motion to bring it up at our next regular council meeting. So he wants to accept the budget as it is
Okay.
and bring it up at the council at the next regular meeting. So,
It's all day long,
mhm.
but it's actually, everything is really accessible and
It's a good budget.
yes.
Again, mid-year budget is where everything falls. And that's gonna be the most important budget. We may have several sessions on that.
Our library, need to make it more accessible, not less. I don't care who you are.
Okay. So we do have a motion to go ahead, to accept the budget as it is. Now, we haven't changed the library stuff on it or anything. But I guess the motion is to go ahead and present it to the council.
Yeah, yes.
So, do you got a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? If not, and all in favor, say yay.
Yay.
All right, pose like sign, okay. So, yeah, so the only thing that's the touchy thing will be, the library issue, and it may not even be a it may not even be a budget issue, it may be just,
Oh, it's not gonna be a budget issue.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to be, they might grouse a little bit about budget, but it's about,
so,
the library is a touchy issue in the community, just not with them and us. It's within the community.
There again, half the community doesn't know that we pay the salary.
so here's the thing with with the license office. You know, we budgeted 67,000 last year and we're only gotten 39 this year so far. It says 34 on this, but it's actually 39. So we budgeted 64,000 for next year. That's not gonna work. We're gonna have to change this.
No,
And if we change this at the end of the budget, I know you are going to accept to push it, but at the end of the budget, we had a narrow margin, so the numbers will have to be recalculated to a more accurate, numbers for the budget.
yeah.
So we have to take $10,000 from that bottom line carryover that we had, if not, maybe a little bit more, because yeah.
Well, we only had about 60,000 for
Yeah.
the whole thing,
So that means we're gonna be looking, instead of 60,000, we're gonna be looking at 50,000.
The proposed budget was only a profit of right under 3,000. The proposed budget was right underneath 3,000
$3,000
for profit, yeah, at the end of the year,
for the entire city budget?
for the city side, yes, $2,995.
Okay. So yeah, on the city side. So that means we're out of balance about $7,000. Yeah.
You know why?
I just rounded it up.
I can tell you exactly why. Because as you said, Ellsbury is only at 8.247. We're at 9.5. That's a chunk of change when.
Yeah.
You're,
yeah, if they got several vehicles.
yeah. What about a new bid?
Well, they're supposed to be charged where their residence is at. So even if they buy purchases here, when they pay the taxes, it's supposed to be wherever they live.
Yes,
That's,
it is.
it's supposed to stay the same, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Because that's the first thing they're saying is, well, we can't go get there. That's 9.5%. That's gonna cost me an extra $1,000 and it depends on where they live.
Yeah.
So,
right. But anyway, so before now and the next regular council meeting, we'll work through this. We'll work through this as if we got to work with the numbers that we have
Okay.
and see how close we are to it. Not only this, we'll budget for that, but there's, we still got to win the contract again.
Where are we on the tower?
So right now it's under, they're doing title searches on it and it's already been surveyed, doing title searches on it. And I haven't heard anything since the middle of last week.
Lights are out on, both towers.
Yep.
We could get in trouble.
Well, we signed the contract over to them on all that. So have they provided us a signed copy yet? They have not provided us a signed copy yet. And so I'll need to get on the phone with them and
Yeah.
start seeing. Okay. Any other questions?
Grass cuttings around the city. need to, the holiday weekend. Need to start tomorrow. Then get it cut. Maybe tomorrow, we're supposed to be having storms and stuff, possible tomorrow.
Talk about like all the different right of ways and along the streets and stuff, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I threw a wrench at them today with the trees, so, but they did do all their morning cuts for the.
Because there'll be a lot of people up there
Mhm.
over the Memorial Day.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be working on, I know they'll be working on
They
that.
have to work an hour for the overtime.
Okay. All right, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say yay. All right.